Hi there. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our conversation is going to be very different on a very important topic. And I have here my team member, Coach Ann. Coach Ann is a certified coach with International Coaching Federation, and she's a national board certified health and wellness coach. Ann began her coaching journey in 2018 after putting in remission a serious autoimmune condition for herself using holistic and root cause practices. So I know that she always practices what she preaches. That I know for sure. She's also a certified heart math practitioner, diabetes prevention coach, and certified professional food addiction coach. Anne has been with our team at Excel Health for almost 3 years now, coaching, educating, and supporting the mission of helping people create health. So, welcome, Anne. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Dr. Rahman, for having me here.
Okay. So, of all the topics, Anne, that you can focus on, what about helping others with food addiction that interests you the most?
It's so prevalent. There's so many people that are struggling with the food system that we have in the United States. They are addicted to this food, and it is causing massive amounts of health crises for people. The diabetes rate has increased massively. All kinds of heart disease has increased. Weight problems have increased. You can look around and just see it everywhere, that people are not as healthy as they used to be. They aren't living as long now as they used to live. We know that from statistics now, that our life expectancy is actually going down. Kids are getting diabetes. Kids are getting heart disease, high blood pressure.
Yeah.
And I know you see it too, in the practice, people coming in their 20s and 30s and being ill. We never used to see this. As you can tell, I'm a little bit older. So my generation, we didn't see this. It's very strange. So I really want to help people find ways to stop being addicted to this processed food and learn how to have a healthy lifestyle, a healthy diet, so that they can live the life that they were meant to live. Live out their dreams, be who they want to be. And right now, their health is stopping a lot of people from doing that.
I totally agree, Anne. I think the health in this country as a whole, right? People are getting more sicker, more obese, and more depressed. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. And food has a lot to do with it. Mm-hmm. I think in preparation for this interview, I was also reading up on the prevalence of food addiction. And I read that usual prevalence is for 15 to 20%. And apparently, as women go through perimenopause and menopause, it doubles. It's up to 30%, it seems. Yeah. So, and that was interesting to learn for me, because I didn't think it was that prevalent in this age group, because that is clients that we work with, right, day in and day out, but they have the more prevalence, and there's several reasons for it. As we go through the stuff, we'll talk about it. But like you said, it's an important aspect of health that can be totally in our hands.
Yeah.
Right? It is totally in our hands, and that means people need to be given tips. First thing is awareness, and then understanding the causes where theirs is coming from, and then getting help, figuring it out. That's where it starts. Okay. So how do you define food addiction?
Well, food addiction is a lot like other addictions. It's when you are using a substance to the detriment of your health. So you're using it to get some kind of a reward. It triggers your reward system. It kind of satisfies cravings and urges that are outside the normal hunger scale. It's very similar to drug, alcohol, cigarette addictions.
Substance addictions.
Shopping, gambling.
Mhm.
All of those things are triggering that reward system in
Yeah.
our brain.
Yeah. So if somebody has to think of a symptoms or a checklist to know if they have food addiction or not, what would that look like? What will be some of the common symptoms?
Well, there is a great resource out there. A lot of people don't know about it called the Yale Food Addiction Scale.
Oh, okay.
It's a series of questions that you answer and you rate your responses in there from, mild to moderate to severe. And then you come up with a score. And that score can help you figure out if you have food addiction. But I would say, just from working with people, I mean, if you feel like you cannot resist certain types of processed foods, that no matter what you do, you're getting in the car, you're going to the fast food place to get the hamburger and the French fries because you just can't stand it anymore, or you can't have any type of things like any kind of processed food, chips or candy or whatever, in your house or anywhere near you without giving in to that urge.
Like intense cravings that they can't control, right?
Yes.
That makes them really go to that fast food or go and shop for that thing.
When you go out of your way too to do it.
Yeah, their impulse go. They're very impulsive with that food, and they're not able to control it. And I would say, I think even sometimes if people are feeling more guilty of eating something, and they know that they're not supposed to be eating it, I think that also maybe one of the signs, right? Like they have this repetitive pattern or behavior of eating the foods that they know are not good for them, but still going for it. That's a sign of addiction, you say?
Yes, I guess that could be as well, because
Yeah.
people will get that shame spiral going on. When they eat something they know is not supporting their health. If they feel really bad about doing it, that can actually make it worse.
Okay. So how is food addiction affecting our health, as an individual and a community?
It's affecting our health in so many ways, because food addiction is not just about being overweight, at least not for us in our country. Most of the foods people are addicted to, I would say probably 98%, are ultra processed foods. And those foods are laden with lots of chemicals, food colorings, binders, fillers, emulsifiers. There are probably around 10,000 different food additives in the US food system, and most of them are not proven safe. So we have to look at what those things can do to the human body. So it's not strictly about becoming overweight and getting diabetic. It has to do with our cells, what they're built of. It's kind of like, when you look at the three pigs, the story of the three little pigs.
No, tell me.
Oh, you don't know about them?
Yeah.
The three little pigs. Okay. So one pig built his house of straw.
Oh, that story. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
And another pig built his house with wood.
Yeah.
And another pig built his house with bricks.
Yeah.
And when the storm came, the big bad wolf came, and he said, "I'm going to huff and puff and blow your house down."
Yeah.
Well, the one of straw fell down right away, right? It's not resilient.
Yeah.
It wasn't built with good materials.
Yeah.
It wasn't strong. So when the trials of life came, it just collapsed. And the wood was a little better,
Yeah.
That might be the person that's eating mostly pretty good food,
Yeah.
But they're still eating a lot of processed foods and seed oils and things like that. So maybe it takes a little more blowing to get that house to fall down.
Yeah.
But then there's the smart pig that built his house out of bricks.
Yeah.
Now, if you are eating these processed foods on a regular basis, your cells are being composed of these things.
Yeah.
Your microbiome, which is a huge part of your health, is going to be fragile and also have a bad ratio of good to bad bugs, as we call them.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to have more inflammatory bacteria, viruses, fungi in your gut. And so it's going to affect that. It's going to affect damage to your blood vessels. When you have inflammation, damages your blood vessels. So every organ, including your brain, which is a really big one,
Yeah, inflammatory foods, yeah,
can be damaged by these foods. So
yeah,
everything is increasing. Cancer.
yeah,
Cancer can be prevented most of the time because cancer is that aberrant cell. Well, if you keep the environment healthy,
yeah,
you have less chance that that cell is going to go rogue
yeah,
and become an aberrant cell. So
yeah,
it's affecting every aspect of our health.
yeah, that is so true. And I think food changes our genetic expression, right? Like the thing about epigenetics is all about food and lifestyle that makes the expression of these genes, so that the cancer genes also get affected by our lifestyle and the inflammatory environment around it. I remember the story now because I used to read it for my kids, but that's a good comparison for health that you came up with. So what you're saying is the foundations need to be good. So like a brick foundation has to be laid for our body, which is our home. So in that way, when the big bad wolf comes, which is a disease, or aging, so then we are ready. You know, we are in a good place.
Accident or injury. Or an illness.
Yes.
Without that resilience, you can't bounce back either.
Yeah.
And you're less likely to collapse from the weight of it if you have a strong, resilient body.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great analogy. And also, right, I think most of the clients that we work with are people between 40 to 60s. So what I noticed and I know is happening is when they are in 20s and 30s, their body is able to tolerate all sort of burden, right? I call it a toxic burden, the body burden, right? It's able to tolerate these artificial ingredients, the processed foods, the coloring, all those things, alcohol, all of that stuff. And as we get into 40s, 50s, and 60s, the body burden increases.
Yes.
Right. And then it becomes even more important that we have to reduce this ongoing insult.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as you age, you don't take out the trash as well.
Yep.
It's the immune system just can't keep up with it. It's like the trash man. If he doesn't come for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and everybody's throwing their trash out on the curb, and things are going to get messed up. So as you get older, your body doesn't take out that trash as well.
Yeah. So is food addiction genetic, or what are the factors that make somebody more addicted to food?
Well, there's a lot of different factors going into food addiction. There can be some genetic components of it, but again, as you said, epigenetics still come into play. Our genes will express based on the environment that they're in. But some people do have a predisposition to have lower amounts of dopamine expression in their brain. So they will crave that dopamine more than people who make more of it or have more receptors on their cells. So that's a factor. Environment's really huge. I mean, sometimes people will think, oh, I am genetically predispositioned to this because my parents were food addicts, and so I'm a food addict too. But they were raised in that environment, and they were given those foods as children.
Yeah.
So the environment can set up a food addiction cycle for people.
The upbringing and the upbringing aspect of it. Okay. Yeah. So what about environmental factors? Are there any environmental factors that affect? for food
Well,
addiction?
I believe a lot of it is the food itself.
Mm-hmm.
Our food is manufactured, most of it,
Mm-hmm.
at least a lot of it, by companies that used to own big tobacco.
Oh.
They bought up the food
Mm-hmm.
companies.
Yeah.
When big tobacco finally had to cave in and say, oh no, cigarettes do cause smoking,
Mm-hmm.
they were trying to find another way to make money. They bought up some of the big food companies,
Yeah.
and they used the same addictive model
Mm-hmm.
to create the food and to promote the food
Yeah.
to the population.
Wow.
So they actually do experiments with scientists,
Yeah. Yeah.
and do MRIs on
Mm.
people's brain
Mm-hmm.
while they are feeding them certain ingredients
Mm-hmm.
to see what lights up the
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah. They have PhDs and people with molecular biology and all the scientists, food scientists working on this, making this food, right, to taste better, more addictive, and also where it impacts on the tongue, the brain chemistry. Yeah.
Yes. And then it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's everywhere we go.
Yeah.
It's at the gas station.
Yes.
It's at the drive-through. Americans aren't even eating at home as much as they used to. They're eating out more than they're eating at home.
Yeah.
So in the restaurants, you think they want you to come back.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to feed you food that,
Yeah.
may have all kinds of unseen things in it. We really don't know what they put in their food, most of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Usually, high salt or sweet and other things, right? That makes it more tasty, whatever it makes it more tasty.
For sure. And low quality as well.
Right.
Because there isn't a really big profit margin in the restaurant business.
Mm.
They have to sell a lot of food to make money.
Yeah.
So they have to purchase their food, most of them at as cheaply as possible.
Yeah. It's a business, right? They're into the profit margin.
Right. Yeah.
I think one of the things in terms of factors affecting food addiction, do you think socioeconomic status? Because healthy food is so expensive, right? And then there's in all this low socioeconomic areas, there's more McDonald's than rather a grocery store, right?
Yes. It's absolutely a problem. There are food deserts in a lot of our urban city, urban areas, and people don't have, they have a dollar store maybe, or they might have a 7-Eleven. They're not going to be able to buy good produce, good vegetables and fruits there, good meats there. It's all packaged foods.
Yeah. So that may be one aspect, I think, probably that might hinder them. But at the end of it, right, as we tell our clients, even if you're not able to buy organic foods, at least starting with just regular vegetables is better than the packaged food, isn't it? Starting with, even if they're not organic, just starting with regular vegetable intake, just increasing that, even if it's not grass-fed meat and things like that, but still kind of choosing a better quality products and more, even you picking some farms nearby where you might be finding sources of better quality meats and vegetables and all that. Local farmers play a big role in terms of keeping it more economical, I think.
Absolutely. It can be economical to eat healthy. You just have to do some homework. I mean, really, dried beans are really not that expensive. They're a good source of protein. Vegetables and fruits, when they're in season, which is optimal to buy whatever is in season, they can also be frozen at home, or frozen vegetables are a lot cheaper too.
Yes. Yeah.
So any way you can get away from those already processed foods and eat whole foods, you're helping to release yourself from that addiction.
Yeah, for sure. So do you think food addiction is like or different from other types of addictions?
Yeah, as I said a little bit earlier, I think it's very similar. It is, some people say, well, you have to eat. You can't get away from it. You have to eat. So that makes it harder. But I don't really agree with that statement, because you yes, you do have to eat, but you don't have to eat processed foods.
Yeah, yeah.
Most people are not addicted to whole foods. Have you ever met anyone that's addicted to broccoli?
No,
How
not
about
yet.
cauliflower?
Not yet. Yeah.
How about beans? Or I have met people addicted to steak. Now, that's definite.
Yeah.
But most people do not get addicted to whole food.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yes, it's everywhere. Yes, we have to eat, but that's really not an excuse for staying addicted because you still have a choice
Yeah.
in what type of food that you eat.
Yes, for sure, right? And as they start eating whole foods, their taste buds change, and they find they also when we have seen like so many clients tell us, "Oh my God, I used to love this food so much, and now
Yeah.
I had a piece of that same food like 2 months later, and they said it tasted so bad." They could recognize the chemicals in that food.
Yes.
So
Hear it all the time.
yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
people that I coach, they come in and,
Yeah.
and we'll try to help them, first of all, to get off sugar. That's the first one.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many people have told me, oh, I'm addicted to sugar. I can't stand it. I won't be able to do it.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, they're just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I don't crave sugar anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and fruit tastes so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. And it is possible, right? I think there were some clients who call themselves chocoholic,
Yeah.
right? Have you heard that?
Oh, yeah.
And even those people could improve. So it is possible.
Yeah, yeah.
So how do we help people with food addiction, and what are their resources? Yeah.
It takes a lot of support,
Mm-hmm.
really. So many people are living in a home where they have kids or they have a spouse who is not willing to change their eating habits. And they may want to make a big shift and they can't do it on their own. It's very difficult. They could do it on their own if they, you know, certain people can.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people out there that are just like
Yeah.
so determined and so strong. When they set their mind to something, they can do it. But in our practice, we give all the supports that people need. We give them education, and that's important right there. And a lot of people understand they need to eat differently, but there's so much confusing information out there about what to eat and how to eat to be healthy. So they'll go from one thing to the other, you know, just constantly bouncing back and forth from the paleo to the, you know, AIP or the whatever it is. They'll just keep bouncing around.
Yeah.
And then they need to learn how to keep it sustainable. They need to learn tricks and tips on how to incorporate this new way of eating into their life.
Yeah. Yeah.
To make it so that they can do it with a busy lifestyle.
Yeah.
We're also busy, but there are ways that we can, you know, find ways to plan and to prepare so that it doesn't take as much time. So they need the education, they need the support. We also offer coaching. And coaching is really important because whenever we go to make a change, we have to be really connected to the why.
Yeah.
What do we want? What is our vision for our life? It's like a GPS, and you put your destination in the GPS. And if you don't follow the directions to get there, you're not getting there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you keep going the other way. So we help them with kind of developing a plan, a vision for what they want their life to be, and then taking steps, and sometimes very small ones, to start towards getting there, because you have to have the action as well. And you have the accountability with coaching and with the team here at XL Health. And the education, and then you have this amazing doctor who also will support you and help you and do lab work to show you. You know,
testing is important.
Yeah. And you should talk a little bit about that, how people can see these markers change.
Yeah, I think I'll talk a little bit more about women in menopause, right? Like this in 40 to 60 years of age. For them, there's a lot of biochemistry and physiology that plays a role in food addiction. because we know that during this phase of life, insulin resistance goes up. So we already see that in the markers like increased A1C, fasting insulin levels. And what I have noticed is as we start teaching them of making protein and fat as a priority, as a major component for each meal, their blood sugar stops crashing, because a lot of them don't eat breakfast in the morning. They're just going around with caffeine in their stomach, right? And what happens by 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, their blood sugars crash.
Right.
And then it becomes so much easier to pick up something like a fast food or something sugary or something to get going.
Right.
But if we can start ahead of time with a protein breakfast in the morning, because because of insulin resistance, their blood sugars are so unstable, and that crashes affects their mood, can increase the sugar addiction, can increase the cravings. Right? We can start right there in terms of the insulin resistance. That's one aspect I've seen. And also when estrogen levels are dropping, it does affect our brain chemicals, our serotonin and dopamine, right? They're so much correlated with that. And those are the mood affecting chemicals, and they affect the reward behavior, especially dopamine.
Right.
So what studies show that, right? If estrogen is replaced for women, that dopamine rewarding behavior does go down. So there is a connection even with that also in terms of why food addiction becomes more prevalent for women in this age group. And guess what? These people are all wearing multiple hats. They're busy wives. They're very professionals. They're moms. They're caregivers. They're wearing so much hats. So you can imagine how much stress they'll be under every day. And their cortisol. Talk a little bit about you being a heart math practitioner, and talk about how cortisol can affect our food patterns. How that stress can create more food addiction behavior. Isn't there a big role that the impact of cortisol on that? Yeah.
Well, stress definitely, affects that. I'm not sure I'm up to date on the cortisol part of it, but cortisol is released when you are stressed.
Yeah.
And so is adrenaline, noradrenaline. And these are all depleting, what we call depleting, because they speed up our heart rate. They speed up our metabolism, which people think is good, but what they're doing actually is draining us.
Yeah.
And heart math calls those depleting emotions, the emotions of anger, of frustration, and those all happen when we're stressed. So when you're depleting your energy, your body is naturally going to seek renewed energy, right? And it's going to do that in a just a biological way. It's going to say, oh, I need some more glucose. The brain uses a lot of glucose, more than any other organ in the body. And so if you are stressed and you're depleting all your energy, your brain is just going to start screaming for glucose, and you're going to just grab likely whatever it is that's around that's going to give you a fast hit of glucose.
Yeah, I think the most common things people go for energy stimulation is sugar as a first one, then coffee and soda, even sugary coffee, right? The Starbucks stuff. And the sodas, right? Those are the, I think, 3 common things I've noticed people go for.
Right.
And so that's why getting to the root cause on why they are going through this process, and for women in this age group, the hormonal support is a big deal. And also we're helping them with insulin resistance, changing their food eating patterns, the behaviors is a big step in all of that to help their but what we have seen working repeatedly with this type of clients, we know that all of this can change. And there is so much control than people think on their health and their food eating patterns and their habits. I'm not going to say it will be easy. I'm going to say you have to make it a priority.
Absolutely, because you only have one life. And I this is very personal for me, even though it wasn't food addiction. In my 40s, I was that woman who was running around taking care of everyone. I had my own business, which happened to be a childcare that I owned. And so I was running that childcare.
Yeah.
Plus, I was taking care of my 3 kids. And my husband worked shift work, so I was doing all the driving to this and that after
Yeah.
school to all the things.
Wow.
And my health just crashed.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's very personal to me because I did restore my health with some work, but it wasn't, I could have done it so much faster if I'd had you or a team like XL Health to help me do it. It took me a long time, but I did restore my health. And so you just have to get help. People care. We really do care about you. We a lot of us have stories of our own.
Yeah, our own health.
Yeah. We're not in this field because we think it's a massive moneymaker. We're here because we care. We know what it's like to hurt. We know what it's like to struggle, to get out of bed in the morning and to get through your day and to have no time to do the things that you love because you're too exhausted at the end of the day. Yeah. So you just have to get help, and we have the supports here that can help you be successful.
Yeah, and like Anne was saying, like we all have our own health journeys, and we don't ask people to do anything that we have not done ourselves.
Yeah.
So change of health is possible no matter where you are, especially when it comes to food addiction and creating a healthy food plan for yourself. It is possible no matter how busy you are. There's always ways to prioritize in terms of meal preparation, and we have done this thousands of times, so there is help available. So let's wrap it up. And so what is the next step for someone who wants help to overcome food addiction?
Call us.
Yeah.
Call us. Get help.
Yeah.
If you can't get help from us, get help from someone else that's done this before.
Yeah.
And knows what they're doing.
Yeah, recognition and use that what is that thing? Yale food addiction scale, you said?
Yeah, the Yale food addiction scale. We also put together a handout that has the acronym CHANGE. Okay. And the reason that I use that one is because, first of all, you have to make a commitment to change. What do you really want? You have to get connected to that. If you don't really want to get better, you can go where you can spend thousands of dollars and it's never going to happen because you are the one that's in control of what goes in your mouth. Yeah. The next one, H, is for how. You need a how. You need to know how to do this. There's so much, like we said, confusing information out there.
Right, yeah.
We have a proven plan that works. The next one is A for ants. And this is from Dr. Daniel Amen. He calls those automatic negative thoughts. Those thoughts can derail you. We all have this subconscious pattern in our mind that's been running for years and years and years. And we make our decisions based off that. 95% of them. So that needs to change. And until you start recognizing that these thoughts are not supporting you, and you can't really change them. But once you start being aware of them, you can then change them. So the N is for nurture. A lot of us out there, especially the women, but there's a lot of men this is applicable to as well. They're not taking care of themselves. They're serving everyone else and their cup is empty.
Self-care, yeah.
So nurturing yourself. The next one, G, is for goals. We can say, oh, I need to do this and I know I need to do that. But until we say, okay, I am going to do this at this time of day for this long, we have to make these goals specific. They're called SMART goals.
Right, yeah.
But they can be small.
Yeah.
And it's best to start small. But you have to take action steps. You can't just sit around and say, wow, I wish things were different. You have to be willing to take action.
Yep. Just one thing, right? Being consistent with one healthy habit per month, that itself is 12 new habits at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Isn't
right.
it? Yeah.
And the last one is E, and that's for environment. We already talked about that. We
Yeah.
need to, but we also need to have a supportive environment, because there's this old saying, you may not agree with it, but that you are the average of the 5 people that are closest to you.
That's so true. So true. Yeah.
For most people, it is true. So if you're living in a household where people are addicted to food, it's going to be harder for you. But we can help you still. And we can, help you teach the rest of your family the importance of this, so that you can see your whole family change. And we've seen that happen a number of times with couples that are both on board, change the trajectory of their children's health.
Right. Yeah.
And their future as well.
Yeah, like we see in one family, right? The dad got all healthy, started working out, and then now his daughter is inspired.
Yes.
20 plus, 25-year-old plus. So, and then now his mother-in-law also changing the health. So the dad has inspired all of these other family members also to take control of their health.
Yeah.
So if you're not in such environment, you doing it for yourself will be a motivation, inspiration. And that's why we have created that community atmosphere also, right? Like we realize that a lot of people are not talking about health, are not focusing on health outside. So you will be in this bubble of people who are working towards the same goals. So having that kind of group workshops and the community support that we do also helps for people.
Absolutely.
And something you said, Anne, I think that the emotional aspect of food addiction, the trauma thing, so definitely seeking help, right? If there is a trauma element involved with your food addiction part, definitely getting therapy for that, and seeking an emotional, a trauma therapist trained specifically on the food part also will be important, because that is the mental aspect for your health that will be needed other than the physical health part. So that becomes important. So we'll have this handout in the comments section whenever this podcast will be posted. So any last tips, right? I know I like to give always some action steps after every video like this. So what would be like 1 or 2 action steps that we can tell people to take?
Well, there's a couple. It depends on what for you is your thing. Is it the 5 scoops of sugar in your coffee, or the Starbucks? Is it the soda? Some of these things are very easy to reduce. A lot of people don't realize there's about 8 to 12 teaspoons of sugar in a soda.
Yeah.
Would you put that in a glass of water, stir it up, and drink it? No. If you can just cut back 1 a day, if you drink 2 or 3 sodas, even diet sodas are not okay.
Good. Yeah.
If you can just cut back 1 a day, find something that but it has to be specific to you, is not supporting your health, and just try cutting it back just a little bit every day for a week. See what happens.
Yeah.
You may be surprised that the next week you're able to cut it back a little more, and the next week a little more. So, that is my suggestion. Start small.
Yeah.
Okay. Because as Doc said, if you change 1 habit per month, at the end of a year, you've got 12 new healthy habits, right? So start small, make it doable, make it reasonable, and set, look up SMART goals too. They're all over the internet. You can find a list of SMART goals and how to set a goal.
Yeah, for sure, right? I think sugar is the most common food addiction that we have in our society. So starting with reducing the sugar. First, track how much sugar you're getting in your diet in a day, so that you have that awareness. Just maybe track for a couple of days, see how much sugar, where you're getting your sugars. You read your labels of the things that you're eating. Sugar is hidden with several different names. You can probably find them on internet too. What are the names they hide sugar under?
61 or 2 different names.
For
sugar.
The sugar is hidden under so many names. And please don't replace that soda with the diet soda. In some ways, it is even worse than the regular soda. Artificial sweeteners are also the same. So, and start with cutting back, no matter where you are, how much sugar you're getting right now, just cutting back a little bit less. Then and keep adding on that every week. That itself will be a major impact on your health. And we've seen that time and time again, on how people feel just within 1 or 2 weeks. And make sure you're ready for failing also, because this is not going to go in a perfect way.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't really consider failure as failing. It's just learning.
Yeah.
It just teaches you something. You know, well, that didn't work. That's not right for me. I have to figure out a different way to do this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there is no failure here. It's only about learning.
It's about learning and figuring out why it didn't work at that time, what happened, and just understanding. I think there's a saying, right? Every failure is like a growth curve, or growing steps, or something like that. You know, so think of it as a path for your growth. Every failure. So don't consider that because you have failed one time that you're going to stop and give up entirely. You know, at the end of the thing, every time you fall, you need to get up and keep moving, keep trying it again, keep trying it in again, a different thing.
Right.
And that's how you get your health that you're looking for. You know, remember, health is not a getting to the health is not a like a sprint, isn't it? And it plays like a marathon.
It is all your life.
It is all your life.
And you keep changing, you know, your body changes as you age. And so you have to shift and adjust all the time. It's always a pivot. So, yeah, don't give up. Keep working. And yeah, and when you feel better, when you have great energy, you know, I have more energy now in my age than I did when I was in my 40s.
I know.
So,
yeah,
when you feel that energy, it spurs you on. You know, you just want to keep getting better, keep going. Right, right.
Yeah.
You don't have to fall apart when you age. You know.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, right? There's so much chalked up to aging. Everything is blamed on age. But we do see people who are 80-year-old. I think there was an 80-year-old who just ran an Ironman in Hawaii. So it's about aging healthily. That is important thing, and that's possible for all of us. But the most important thing is taking action. So if you have any thoughts, any comments on this topic, or if you're struggling with certain food addiction, do post in the comments below. We do read each and every one of them and see if we can guide you in some way. But look for that handout on change, and make sure to download that. And if you think you're struggling with food addiction, look at that AL scorecard and do your own test checklist and see where you are, and seek help. Thank you for joining us.